Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Xecutionar here. I am going to go over my warrior tanking spec and build that I have for Guild Wars 2. There's a lot of different specs out there. Use different traits, and it all depends on how your gameplay style is. And some are really some are decently balanced. Some are way more on the defensive side and not really a lot of damage. Some want to put out a little more damage, but at the same time, you don't have the same sort of the survivability that you really need for a lot of fights if you don't have a good healer, since there is no dedicated healing to this game technically, even though people have done some amazing things with certain classes. But first off, I'll start with the gear that I have. It's a mixture of Ascalonian Catacombs with Honor of the Waves. The look is a little different because I've used some of the Vigil stuff and turned it into them. But when you look on the stats itself, it's got the stats from Ascalonian Catacombs. And I also have the exotic chest piece that I like, just because I like the way it looks and it has the same stats on it for toughness and vitality with all the power. Um, Also, you have the Honor of the Waves here and Ascalonian Catacombs uh, weapons here. I do use the shield with the sword. I like sword for tanking just because of the Savage Leap is really nice in order to get towards characters. You can also use hamstring whenever stuff starts running away from you to be able to get a couple more hits on there and possibly get some damage. Also, with the sword, you get automatic bleeds, which condition damage you might not think is an important part of this build, but believe it or not, it will help you to rally a lot whenever you actually do fall down, because the more things you get around bleeding, the more chances you have of actually killing something while you are down, and that'll help you to rally. So a lot of people don't realize that at first, and they use like an axe or something else just because of the damage that can do, or it works with their playstyle. But with my playstyle, I love the sword. The look of it is also a lot better for me too. Um, my set is a little bit geared towards some damage also with my accessories and whatnot having precision instead of mostly vitality and a lot of toughness. I do have 28,000 health with over 2,500 toughness at level 80. Um, the precision, the 21% crit, it's not much, but you do notice a little bit of it whenever you are doing your condition damage again with your bleed, which does a lot more damage than people give it credit for. And I kind of liked the way it works out together. Let's go ahead and move into my traits. It's mostly the basic stats you would use, the traits you use as a tank. All defense, all tactics with a little bit in the strength. In the defense, I use Total's defense just because of the toughness while you're immobilized or stunned is really nice during certain fights, or if whenever you're just doing pulls or trying to run through dungeons, do the speed runs and running through. Someone falls down, you can come back and try to grab aggro, and then that allows them to get up and run past, and you're getting bounced around, but you have a lot of toughness and health, so you can take that for a while, and then once you can recover, you can run, you get up and start running. Then you also have the Shield Master, which is, I mean, you have to have it pretty much if you're a tank because you're going to be using the shield, and the extra toughness is nice. Also with the recharge of Shield Stance and Shield Bash, which, believe it or not, Bash, because of the stun, it's a very, very important thing to use during most boss encounters whenever they're doing any kind of timed, like channeled attack that takes a couple seconds. You can do that and it'll interrupt the attack. So, like, you can stop them from doing a major damage or a heal or whatever else they have. Uh, then you have Defy Pain, which I like. It will activate Endure Pain at 25% health. The little extra survivability there. One of the things in defense, General Health, which will regenerate health based on your adrenaline level. So basically, one of the better things about the sword also is Flurry. It's good, but you really don't need to use it much because I use a two-hander. Great Sword is my offhand. 100 Blades does way more damage. At the same time, my adrenaline will be full, and I'll be getting the regen back. So switching over to it, I don't lose too much survivability still because I still have all the regen coming, and then I can go back and go to my shield and whatnot and still be just fine. We'll go into the tactics now. I have empowered, which is increasing damage for every boon on you. Obviously, with the shouts I have, that give you boons, and whenever you're in a group with a guardian and whatnot, that can give you a lot of other boons. You can really get that damage output. Which to hold aggro, yeah, they're gonna run towards you because you have a shield automatically, but you have to be able to do a good amount of damage on a lot of targets also, especially in AOE pulls, which is where the condition damage also comes into play on this. Because if you jump into a group of tunes, I mean a group of guys, and you can't get a lot of damage going all at the same time, and you have real powerful elementalists or anything else that do AOE damage, they're just gonna pull right off of you. And because I do the condition damage with my sword, whenever I first jump into every pool, it helps out a lot because the tick for the condition damage, the bleed, actually gets enhanced also whenever your damage is up. So that's nice. Then you have lung capacity. This is a shout healing spec also. So shouts recharge 20% faster. So not only do you keep your boons up at all time, you also get the heals faster because shouts heal. So both of these shake it off, which is a must-have because I mean, it cures a condition off of you and your allies. At the same time, it'll heal you and break stuns. And as a tank, those are like the most important things to have. I mean, without it, you don't really do much. You're just kind of sitting there taking damage, but at the same time, you're not helping anyone around you, and you'll lose aggro real quick because you stay stunned the whole time. On strength, I went into Berserker's Power. Like I said, I used the power instead of getting 5% of power is given to Vitality. I have 28k health, which is more than Guardians have, and Warriors can get 30, 35,000 health, but they don't do as much damage. Which whenever you have someone doing burst damage, like my DPS spec on this, which is a survivability DPS spec for my warrior, so I have in the defense also, I'll pull off of everybody because they're not doing enough damage. And like I said, damage really is a vital part as a tank. You have to be able to put enough damage out there. You can't just put on a shield and say, all right, I'm going to go in there and tank, because that's not going to automatically make everything come towards you. They have to want to kill you because not only are you the most survivable, but you're also putting out a good amount of damage towards that target. So you're giving them the max amount of threat towards them that everyone else around you has. Now, so that's all the traits. We'll go into the slot skills that I use. We go back to the regeneration we have and whatnot. I use Healing Signet most of the time. It all depends on the type of group I'm in. I have ran a lot of dungeons where I didn't have anybody that was actual spec'd as a healer, or where a guardian or elementalist, and they could switch back and forth, to get the heals out. But it'd really only be like 1,000 heal or 2,000 heal every like minute or so. Which, I mean, if you're not healing yourself at the same time, then you're gonna die pretty much, because either not bosses don't really hit that hard, but there's a lot of pulls out there like the dogs at the beginning of a TA run or something else like that. They're gonna hit you really hard. They're gonna get you on the ground and just eat you up. Um, you can run Healing Surge, which is nice. It also gets your adrenaline all the way up really quick at the beginning of a fight. So if you want to just do that, that way you have your adrenaline automatically. And then if you run in and do the pull correctly, you won't have to use too much heals within the first couple seconds. Then the Healing Surge will be back up and ready for you by the time you actually need to heal, because you will be getting heals from both your shouts at the same time. Uh, it's nice. I will normally run Healing Signets just because most of the times when I run dungeons, I make sure that we have, a solid build with us. Someone who's not fully dedicated as a healer, but understands that healing is needed for the group and knows how to switch over to give a good amount of healing towards the group. Like I said, the two shouts that I run are for Great Justice and Shake It Off. I already talked about the boons, help your damage. For Great Justice, not only gives you damage, but gives everyone else in your party a damage boost also, which is definitely very nice. Shake It Off. Like I said, if you don't run that, then you shouldn't be a tank. Um, Doliac Signet, also very important. It's about a 10% damage reduction. 10% damage reduction is huge when it comes to being a tank, because obviously the less damage you take, the more you're alive. You're in the fight. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and you're keeping everyone else from getting hit. I do run Signet of Rage. I love the adrenaline that it grants automatically, and because I heal with full adrenaline, it helps me to get my adrenaline up real quickly. And yes, I know in the traits you can do over here where you'll where is it real quick? Sorry, got lost for a second here. uh, Gain adrenaline per hit. You can do Embrace the Pain instead, but like I said, I don't run Embrace the Pain. I like running Turtle's Defense instead, and I don't have to have Embrace the Pain because I run Signet of Rage. Also, whenever I hit it, I get the Fury, Might, and Swiftness from it. So not only do I have 3 boons, which automatically gives me a boost of defense, of offense, damage done, but I also get the Might and the Fury, so it's just damage stacking on top of damage. Um, Basically, that's exactly what I run. Now, like I said, there's other things you can do. Switch it up a little bit if you want to. It all depends on your play style, how good you are at dodging different attacks. Like I said, I also use a great sword and a sword and a shield combo because I love the condition damage from a sword. Kind of give it a try yourself. See what weapons you like. Like if you're gonna go into a big AOE pool, one of the best things to do is to use your Savage Leap real quick, then just final thrust it out a couple times. You'll get all the condition damage going around. Hit your shield stance, or use your heal if you have to at the same time, and then you'll notice the condition damage going around, and then everyone starts doing their AOE, but because you're still hitting everything while you're in shield stance for your survivability for a second, because you got so much stuff hitting you at the same time, you're not losing aggro. Normally, if you just go into a group and you're just hitting stuff away, you're gonna be getting hit a bunch, so you're gonna lose your health real quick. And unless you have a really good healer on you, you're not gonna get your health back, or you'll have to use your self heals initially really fast, and then that's nice at the beginning of the fight because then you're pulling everything. But then a couple seconds later, if everything's not dead already, well, you'll be dead. So using the combination of the two things, being able to use your shield stance to block everything, but at the same time you have your damage going out from your sword, even though you're not hitting anything, you're still holding aggro. So that gives you aggro on everything and survivability, which helps you to last a lot longer in fights. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, and there you go.